I remember driving to work and I was actually listening to Howard Stern that morning. And they were initially kind of making a joke, but serious about a plane hitting the World Trade Center. And I didn't know a ton about the World Trade Center. I thought it was one building, I didn't know what we obviously know now. And as somebody that had just started flying, I was like, well, how does a plane in a beautiful day hit the tower? And you have like pivotal moments in your life where stuff just like snaps and turns. And that was certainly one of them. And it changed the trajectory of my life, and it really opened my eyes to like what I wanted to do. At that moment, it was fight the people that did this, but long term, it's fighting for the country.
Was the choice that quick within hours or days?
I had started the process of looking into joining the military and flying, but that was the thing that's just like, do it. I still serve. I'm a lieutenant colonel now. I'm in the Air Force, Air National Guard.
What do you think is the current threat to the country? Is it domestic or is it foreign?
I feel like there's innumerable threats, and there always are. I think our biggest threat is domestic, and it's the division in this country. It's misinformation, it's falsehoods, it's mistrust. It's that we now see our fellow Americans as the enemy. And that to me, and not understanding that we have common challenges, whether it's China, whether it's an assertive Russia, whether it's any of these other challenges out there, we are more focused as a country on fighting ourselves than we are in these real cyber challenges, for goodness sakes. That's the thing that keeps me up at night, is that we're gonna chew ourselves up.
When you look at your own history, and like you said, you had thought about going into the military, but it was confirmed once you heard the news of 9/11. How do you take that history and your experiences and bring them into your work as a lawmaker now?
9/11 was so impactful for me that I think it really comes into how I act today, which is, there are thousands of young men and women that have given their lives to defend this country. But yet this place, DC, is filled with people that would never put their career on the line for the same cause. You look at for instance, January 6th, that is a huge issue that you have people too scared to address. And so for me, it's basically been saying, look, history will judge what I do. But more importantly, God's going to judge what I do. But even more important than that, I have to be willing to put everything on the line to defend this country. And if I lose an election because I'm telling people the truth, oh well, that needed to be done.
Do you think you would be a member of Congress had it not been for that moment on 9/11 where you decided to enter the military?
No, I certainly think I would not be in Congress. I think it was when I was in Iraq and I came back in '09, in the summer of '09, and I remember the talk at the time was withdrawing from Iraq. It's time to get out. And I knew what would happen if we did. And that was part of what, even though I was always interested in politics, that was part of what actually compelled me to make that move. So I don't think would be in Congress without 9/11 having been that thing that kind of compelled me to fight for something bigger.
Is there anything from the experiences and the aftermath of 9/11 that you can apply to this investigation into January 6th?
Yeah, I think when 9/11 happened, one of the great things that happened in this country is we unified around understanding a common threat. I remember going to the bars and, they'd play the Air Force song, or they'd play some, Toby Keith song, and everybody'd stand up and cheer. And of course, that falls apart over time. On January 6th, we never had that moment. We never had a moment where we all stood up and said, this went too far. And I hope what we can learn from 9/11 to January 6th is that, look, as a country, we need to have disagreements. We need to disagree with each other. Otherwise, it's not really a democracy. But we also have to understand that things can go too far and unify when we're faced with a common threat. And it doesn't mean one party's a common threat, although I think certainly my party's doing a lot to harbor this. But the reality is we have to call out this problem where it exists with truth and honesty.